biggest thing that's going on right now, which a lot of people that have been following the NFL draft know, is that the second rounders, no one's putting pen to paper. Only 2 of the 32 selections so far have signed their rookie contract. There are 2 guys right with the 34th and 33rd pick, and everybody else is just waiting to see what's going to happen because of a little bit of fully guaranteed contracts. All right, can you break down a little bit of what's going on with those picks and how Jaden Higgins kind of screwed this up for everyone?
This is a fascinating topic, and we could have a hilarious amount of second-round picks not showing up to camp. And that already started on Saturday when Trey Harris, the Chargers second-round pick, was not there when they reported. And essentially what's going on over here, it's very interesting. So over the years, first-round picks have become fully guaranteed no matter what. It started off where the first 20 picks were fully guaranteed. As the years went on, it eventually reached all the way to all 32 first-round picks. But the second round was never all the way fully guaranteed. For example, last year, Keon Coleman, the first pick of the second round, he got 80% of his 4th year of his contract fully guaranteed. That changed this year when the Texans, who had the second pick in the second round, selected Jaden Higgins, and a few weeks later, before rookie minicamp started, they agreed to a rookie contract where they gave him his entire contract fully guaranteed all the way. And that changed everything because the pick before him, Carson Schlesinger, now because the pick after him got a fully guaranteed deal, the Browns had no choice. They also gave him a fully guaranteed deal. Now, the rest of the second round is essentially in a waiting pattern where all the agents are like, we also want fully guaranteed deals if this has spilled over to the second round. And the teams are like, no, we want to go back to the way it always was, which was 70% of the 4th round is guaranteed. And down the line, it goes down and down and down. Eventually, only the 3rd year of the contract is fully guaranteed, nothing in the 4th round. That's the way it works when it comes to rookie contracts. So with about a week to go until all rookies are officially going to be in camp, we're kind of waiting here on the Seattle Seahawks, who are picking 3rd in the second round after safety Nick Emenwari. And what is he going to get? And then the biggest X factor in all of this, not many people have spoken about it, is pick number 40, which is the Saints pick, which is a quarterback, and Tyler Shuck. And essentially, because he is a quarterback and because he has a real shot of being the starting quarterback this year of Derek Carr retiring, are the Saints really going to play games over here about a few $100,000 being guaranteed or not guaranteed? And if he could change the entire outcome over here of the second round, because I know for a fact his agent, Eric Burkhardt, is trying to get all fully guaranteed money. If pick number 40 gets fully guaranteed money all the way, then picks 33 to 39 are also going to get it. So it's a very fascinating conversation about what's going on in the second round.
Yeah, it's crazy because this had become a thing of the past, right? From the last CBA, you used to get holdouts all the time, rookies negotiating for their contracts. And then once they slotted the money, it pretty much took care of almost all of the holdouts. There'd be the occasional one haggling over, some obscure clause in the contract. And we're seeing that. We'll get to that a bit later with Shamar Stewart and the Bengals. But generally speaking, everyone's signed, done, delivered by the time camp rolls around. And then this year, like the entire second round effectively looks like they may not show up to training camp. And so obviously, like it raises the question, why did the Texans do it? Like this clearly that's the thing that's causing all of the problems, right? The Browns had no choice once Jaden Higgins had got his deal done. They just jumped in along with it. But why did the Texans break that down? Like particularly in the current NFL landscape where, there's these kind of collusion conversations happening. Like it's a weird precedent to break randomly, particularly voluntarily, maybe the wrong word, but like they jumped right into that early and had no problem with it.
It's a great question, Sam. And the exact reason is if you look at the Nick Caserio front office in Houston, they actually have a bit of a history here when it comes to rookies with, I guess, breaking precedent or going away from what previous players have done. A couple years ago, Jalen Petrie got a significant amount of his 3rd year fully guaranteed when that was not normal for picks. Damian Pierce, who was picked in the 4th round, had an obscure number of fully guaranteed money. I believe it was in year 2. So there was a lot of things over here that have been done in recent history with the Houston Texans when it comes to contracts. Even this offseason when it comes to veteran contracts, Sam, think of what they did of Derek Stingley, who still had 2 years left on his contract. They gave him a 3-year deal, which is, a low number of years for $90 million, $30 million per year when the quarterback market was still at 25. Like, they jumped it by $5 million. They didn't even get that many more years on the contract. Usually, if you're going to jump the market by that much, you try to get a 5-year deal, a 6-year deal, or something like that. The Texans were like, no, we'll do a 3-year deal and jump the market significantly. And I'll tell you this much, there's already rumblings around the NFL that next year with CJ Stroud, when he becomes eligible, the Texans might do something very, very unprecedented with him as well when it comes to a quarterback. So for whatever reason, they have a history of being more lenient with contracts compared to other teams who are more stringent. And we're seeing it again here this year with the second round of picks.
Hey guys, just taking a quick break to tell you, hey, just over 50% of you are still unsubscribed to Check the Mic. It helps the channel. It helps to make sure that you don't miss any of our shows. So if you have a chance, hit the subscribe button right now.
Well, I think I joked with you too, Ari, on our show Spotlight, that when this deal initially happened, 34th pick, they then pushed the hand of the Cleveland Browns with Carson Schwechender to have to be able to say you're going to be getting that fully guaranteed contract, which I always like to always do the comparisons between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. Obviously, those two are going to be synonymous for the end of time, but there's even more now impacted with the second round and with the Cleveland Browns with Quinshon Judkins' arrest over the weekend. He's going to be, we'll see exactly what Cleveland ends up doing with him, what the NFL does with him, but him being one of those guys that's next up in line for those second round picks to, in theory, sign if it's going to go bang, 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 bang. Do you think the Cleveland Browns then say in turn, hey man, you got arrested, you're not going to be the one who's getting a fully guaranteed contract? And then from there, is that going to impact every other guy behind that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look right now, the way it works with rookie contracts is whatever pick, like we saw with Jaden Higgins, because he got a fully guaranteed deal at pick number 34, that meant pick number 33 must get one as well. So if pick number 36 and Quinshon Judkins does not get a fully guaranteed deal, that means the rest of the second round is going to have to follow suit and also not get a fully guaranteed deal. That's the way it works. But over the weekend, before this arrest happened, there was momentum that he was going to get a fully guaranteed deal. Is that going to change? I'm not sure right now. I do know he does have a very, very experienced agent, one of the very best in the NFL, Todd France, who did Dak Prescott's contract. Like, I don't think he's going to tell the Cleveland Browns, hey, this happened on the weekend, now we're going to, cave over here and do a regular traditional deal. So I don't think that's going to happen here. And again, the Tyler Shuck matter in all of this. The Saints rookies, the only twist in all of this is they don't report until very late compared to other rookies. They report on the 22nd, which I think is third latest in the NFL. That element in all of this, all those rookies from pick number 35 to 39 are very aware that the Saints, Tyler Shuck and his agent want a fully guaranteed deal. And they know, I don't think the Saints are going to go into all of this and have potentially their starting quarterback missing the start of camp. That is the biggest X factor in all of this. And that's why there is some potential of here. We could see all those picks until then, maybe not showing up to camp and waiting to see what Tyler Shuck does.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are going to be the most motivated team out there to get their deal done because they need Tyler Shuck in training camp as soon as humanly possible. And like you said, there's no reason anybody ahead of them would want to sign that deal if they're not getting a fully guaranteed contract until Tyler Shuck's deal gets done, because that could change everything. The Quinshon Judkins thing is interesting to me. For anyone that doesn't know, Judkins was arrested and is now facing charges for domestic violence. And what makes that particularly unusual is that, players get arrested and this kind of thing happens all the time. It doesn't tend to happen before a player is under contract in the NFL. So this is what makes this unusual, is that Judkins, because of all this second round wrangling, is not under contract with the Cleveland Browns. So technically speaking, they could just walk away. They could pull his contract entirely. They could walk. Now, they're not going to, because it's the NFL. The NFL has a lenient, way they deal with things like this. So I guess I have a couple of questions for you. If this was any other team than the Browns, because of, what they've already done in the last few years in terms of, let's say, compromising some internal morality, things when it comes to Deshaun Watson, does the fact that it's the Browns change their approach to this? And how serious could it be for them? Like, what would you ballpark the chances of this actually? Is this just going to affect the structure of his contract, or could this affect the fact that he has a contract at all?
Yeah, we don't really have enough details yet as to what happened over the weekend. Like, we're still waiting for more to come out and to see exactly what all the details are. Obviously, it is a disturbing situation. Anytime a player is arrested, you know, everyone has attention there. But you look at the argument that the agent for Judkins had in all of this and why they thought they were going to get a fully guaranteed deal was simply because the Browns already did it. They did it with Carson Schlesinger 2 picks before. That was the argument they were going to make and be like, listen, you already did it with somebody. You want this guy in camp. Get it done now and move it forward. It's not really the biggest jump anyways from pick 33 to 35, 36, wherever he is. So that was the argument they were going to make. But now you have this entire legal thing going on. Again, we'll see how it all unfolds. What's going to happen? Is it something that could actually go longer or will be figured out of you very soon? There's a lot of moving parts, obviously. Again, we don't really know that much, but that was really the crux of all of it. But again, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to if he was even getting signed by the time training camp even reports, even if none of this stuff happened over the weekend. And like I said before, a lot of these players are waiting for that pick number 40 there with Tyler Shuck. If this was any other team, could there be a situation where they would play significant hardball? Sam, I could see that definitely being a possibility. But like you said, we are talking about the Cleveland Browns, and the actions of here are legit. I mean, they had the Deshaun Watson situation. They also signed Kareem Hunt once upon a time. Like, they've done this stuff in the past. So as a result, I don't think they're going to move heaven and earth over here because of that when it comes to Quinshon Judkins until we have more details, at least.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, everyone sort of says, "Hey, he doesn't have a contract right now. He might have lost everything." I don't think anyone believes the Browns are going to walk away from this second round pick just not just because of this situation. It's just means it gives the Browns ammunition to say, "Hey, you might have gotten your fully guaranteed deal, but like, look, we can't give you fully guaranteed money. Look what you just did without a contract." Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.